Yo guys, this is a real problem, this one. Oh, it's stopping my recording. Anyways, welcome back. Um, Today we took a loss, unfortunately, but it's okay. We've been on a win streak, so we need something to even it out, balance the scales, full the liquidity sweeps, the fair value caps, balance the equilibrium, the fib levels, if you know what I mean. So we did take a loss today, and we also backtested 3 trades in the New York session. And I believe it was 2 losses and 1 win. So not the best day today overall, but I think I did learn some valuable lessons. So let's have a look at that right now. So let's start off by looking at MetaTrader. As you can see, today we lost $13.4, which is actually above our 2% risk. And there is another note I have to add on that, which is good. But let's quickly just show you guys. So I took a long over here and we got stopped out here and then it pushed up higher. We lost $13.8 and our account is now at $613 just about. So not bad, but not the best trade today. So let's head over to TradingView right here to analyze a little bit deeper and work you through my process of thought. So of course I'm bullish still. As you can see, price just retested this level. You get a support. I think I said that in the last video, but we're targeting these highs up here, and then higher term these highs all the way up here. So I'm still bullish for the day. Then we scale down to the 30-minute, and now that we've established our daily bias, we mark out these Asia highs and the Asia lows. Yes, this was the low right here. And as you can see, the lows were interacted with, so we scale down to the 5-minute to look for entry confirmation. We get this break of structure on this candle right here and an inverse fair value gap, a small little baby inverse fair value gap. Let me show you. You can only really see it if you zoom in quite a bit, but here's it. A little inverse fair value gap on this candle and a break of structure on this, over this wick right here. And then these lows, equal lows, were swept as well. So that was an extra entry confirmation for me. As well as these lows being retested pretty strongly. So I thought, we're going to take a good trade. So how come we lost? Well, because I entered the trade too early. You see, if my bias for the day is bullish, I want to come into the session and see a little bit of manipulation in the opposite direction. So bearish manipulation in this case. And as you can see, we see it here after we trade. But we want to trade after the manipulation. So you have to be very patient when trading, especially with this strategy. So I don't know if I want to say I got impatient, but we didn't really account for the manipulation. And I thought this Asia session was a strong enough retracement downwards like this, so that there barely had to be any manipulation and we could have pushed higher. However, we can enter early with no manipulation if the entire Asia session is against our trading bias, because that acts as the manipulation, and that is calling for a big extension in the opposite, a big retracement in the opposite direction of our bias calls for a continuation of the trend, or at least a retracement of whatever the trend was for the Asia session, if you guys understand. So, and then it swept our stop loss here, also a liquidity sweep, extra bullish confirmation, close on this bullish break of structure was on this candle, so we could have taken another long here if we waited until after the liquidity sweep. Take profit 1, maybe 2 up there. 2, yeah. We could have hit 2 take profits and then possibly stop loss, which was in profit. But we'll have to, but that never happened. So let me just take you guys over to the trading journal and talk you through the notes. So today was a long $13.8 loss, negative 2.36%, which is quite big, bigger than usual. We want to risk 2% max per trade. When I'm doing a prop firm, I'll probably do less, like 1%, maybe 1.5 if I'm feeling bold. But I said my daily bias, I said the 4-hour was bullish and the 30-minute was in a range. Okay, that's fine. I said this was a decent trade. London session did range, so it was bad luck. As you can see here, London session, it just went up, down, up, down. It didn't really make a big move. So it was just acting as consolidation, building up movement for the explosion in New York session. That's also why I'm back testing New York session. The next one here, it says we did trade too early before the manipulation, which was supposed to be against our bias, which was against our bias. It swept our stop loss and then it shot up high during the New York session. We entered on a 5-minute break of structure and a liquidity sweep, as well as equal lows and a tiny little fair value gap. Now we risked over 2% because of the lot size calculation. We base it off of TradingView's chart and not MetaTrader's price on through HFM markets. Now what does that mean? Well, let me show you guys. As you guys can see, we entered on this like right about here, and this is about 1,100 pips below the stop loss. But if we come over to TradingView and we go from our entry, which was right here, down here to our stop loss, it was about 1,000 pips, 1,050. So what I mean is we calculated our lot size, the size of our position, using the pips of our stop loss on TradingView instead of MetaTrader 5, which is what I should have done. So I did add that into my trading notes. When calculating lot size, use the chart of what you are entering on. For example, if you're trading on MetaTrader 5 through HF markets, don't calculate the pips on TradingView. You can do your analysis, you can work with the charts here however you want, but make sure you're using the exact symbol that you're actually trading. And I would even say use the same software just to be safe. So yeah, that was the trade that we took of live money, our first loss of live money. So it's not the worst, not the best. It's whatever. I'm not really too phased about it. So let's go over the 3 back testing trades we took during New York session. So the first one was a long, a 2% loss, $2,000. The 4-hour was bullish with bearish structure. A bullish order flow and structure just broke bearish. The 30-minute had a bearish structure with a bullish order flow. I said this was a bad trade. Got our bias wrong. Haven't been accounting for the 4-hour retracement to lock in. And I forgot to take a photo of that, a screenshot of that. The next trade was a long, 2.66%. The 4-hour was bullish, the 30-minute was bearish. I said this was a good trade. We entered a little bit early because London session acted as our market manipulation or our retracement, which we entered based off of. We had 3 take profits and then stop loss in profit. We entered on a 5-minute break of structure and an inverse fair value gap. And our final trade, and here it is. As you can see, the lows were interacted with. We entered on a break of structure here above these lows and an inverse fair value gap around here. And as you can see here, we didn't enter off before any manipulation. But as you can see, we should have, because this candle was so close to hitting our stop loss. We honestly just got lucky that it didn't. We should have waited for this candle. Then after that, that would have acted as our manipulation. Then we could have longed on the next candle, which is perfectly fine. However, the whole of London session was bearish, meaning, you know, that's not the bias we're looking for. So it was obviously manipulation, or it was just going in the wrong direction. So that acted as our market manipulation. And our final trade was a long, 2% again, a loss. And I said the 4-hour had bullish order flow with bearish structure and the 30-minute was bullish. I said this was a bad trade because the 4-hour had bearish structure and the draws on the higher time frame were strong. So we got our bias wrong. We didn't see the higher time frame liquidity sweep, and we didn't find clean movement off of London highs and lows, and we also missed the lower time frame draws on liquidity, which swept later, and we entered on a 5-minute break of structure and inverse fair value gap. All of these trades, of course, were taken in the New York session, the back testers. So let me show you guys the third one that we lost. See, this was a bad trade. It hit a high, it interacted with the highs and then targeted the lows, and it just kept tanking. We never saw a clean movement. You see here, this was quite a strong rejection. That's where I entered. Rejection off of here, 5-minute break of structure, and what was it? 5-minute break of structure and inverse fair value gap. Okay, but we didn't account for there was a higher time frame liquidity sweep, Let me just show you on the chart. As you can see right here, there was a liquidity sweep on the 30 minutes. Something else. There were also these lower time frame draws on liquidity here. I mean, medium time frame, whatever. And that swept our liquidity and went up. And this is pretty much the manipulation here. So, I don't know, this wasn't a good session to trade. Very bad setup. Price didn't move cleanly off of the Asian lows and highs. As you can see, broken retest. Look, interact with these lows. Then we could have entered on a break of structure, whatever. It was break of structure. It didn't move nicely. As you can see, it swept liquidity here. That's what we entered based off of, but I wanted it to push a little bit higher, you know. I don't know, today just wasn't a very good day to trade, and I'm not too sure if we can okay, I think there is a rule that says if this high is interacted with, then you have to wait for it to be broken and retest it. Okay, I think we're gonna let it be that. Unless it interacts with this zone and you're very, 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 very bullish and there's a lot of confirmations lining up, you can always bend your rules a little bit if your bias is strong enough. And by the way, guys, I fixed the stopping problem. If you can see, the recording cut off while I was moving this. Get out of here, pencil. This box, I moved it a little bit to the left, and then as soon as I pressed right, it ended the recording. That was my end recording hotkey, and I finally fixed it. So those were the 3 trades we took. Back testing New York session, 2 losses and 1 win, and 1 loss with live money. Our first ever loss. Our 5th ever trade with live money and our first ever loss. The account's still up about 5%, which is good. I'm hoping we can get at least 10% in a month. My goal is about 10% profit a month. So thank you guys all for watching. I'm honestly not too bummed that we lost today because I know we've been on a long winning streak. So obviously the losses are going to come. You can't win forever. No trader wins like 100% of their trades. And I'm just grateful to the Lord that we got to take this many wins and that we get to be humbled by our losses and we get to learn so much from them. So praise the Lord, thank the Lord Jesus Christ, and thank you guys all for watching. See you in the next one. It's also awesome that I got to fix the flipping hotkey thing. Now I'm not going to end recordings and I'm not going to be like